Hi, this is Nancy in Nanning, China, and you are listening to the 10 Questions ESL podcast. We are here today with Max. Max is my house guest. He is 22 years old and is from England. Welcome to the podcast, Max. Are you ready for your 10 questions?
I sure am, Nancy.
Okay. So first of all, tell us about your name.
Well, the name my friends call me is Max.
Max.
You just have said. But my full name is Maximilian Eric Lawrence Stevens.
Say that again? That sounded like 4.
Yeah, 4 names there. So yeah, I'm a little greedy, I guess.
Max, a little greedy. Maximilian.
Yeah.
Now that is a long first name, isn't it?
I think it's German in origin, or maybe Latin.
Yeah. There was an Emperor Maximilian
of
the Habsburgs. Actually, I think he was Emperor of Mexico.
As well.
Was executed. I read a history about the Habsburgs. In Austria and other places, and I lived in Mexico, so I know some of that history. I think that was Emperor Maximilian. So where that name comes from, I don't know. Latin could be.
Yeah, I don't know particularly, but apparently my mum named me after Max Factor, the makeup.
The makeup?
Yeah. She tells me that. I don't know if it's true. I don't know if she's just trying to wind me up, but
trying to wind you up.
Yeah, wind me up to make a joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wind me up. So you said your name is Maximilian what, and what?
So the second one, this is Eric, okay? And then Lawrence. And so these two, Eric and Lawrence, are my 2 middle names.
Middle names?
Yeah, so most people just have 1, I think. But some of my friends have 2.
Okay. In the U.S., 1 is common.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of anyone having 2, but that doesn't mean anything. I'm sure there are some, I just haven't heard.
Okay, yeah. And then my family name is Stevens.
Stevens is a common name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's quite common. There's a couple of ways of spelling it.
Yeah.
Some people say PH, some people say V, but
right.
Mine's PH.
Stephen is also a first name.
Yeah.
Also with 2 spellings.
Yeah.
V or PH.
Yeah, so
right?
You could have Stevens.
You could, Stevens.
Which would be unfortunate, I think.
It would be unfortunate.
But
now, one of your middle names is Eric, a name I like because my brother is named Eric.
Okay.
And the listeners, if you look back in the older podcast, you can listen to my interview with my brother Eric. It's especially useful if you want to get some ideas about English writing, because Eric's a writing teacher.
Oh.
Okay, so are you a student or are you working?
Well, I'm currently working, so I'm a teacher in Hengyang.
And where's Hengyang?
It's in Hunan province.
Okay, so you're a teacher here in China.
Yeah, I'm a teacher in China. Been teaching for about 1.5 years. And yeah, quite enjoy it. It's been very interesting.
Good. Hengyang, I actually have been to Hengyang. I taught in Changsha 2 years, and during that time I went down to meet some people in Hengyang. So I think I told you before, it took us about 3 hours by bus, but now there's a fast train, you said.
Yeah, we have the high-speed train, about 40 minutes, which is really, one time it took me longer to get my ticket than to get to Hengyang from Changsha.
Yeah. One change I've seen in all my years in China, one of many changes is, man, how quickly quickly means 15 years, but how quickly the rail system has improved, or how much the rail system has improved. So many high-speed trains.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It's very impressive, the infrastructure that China has and how quickly. Well, I remember in the UK, we talked for years and years about expanding our airport for a long time now. And in China, it just gets done.
It gets done.
For better or worse, of course.
Oh, sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but you have to admire that they have built very fast.
Right. So you teach at a university, is that right?
Yeah, it's a university, Nanhua University. University of South China is the English translation, I think.
Okay.
But yeah, and yeah, it's quite nice, you know.
Good. You told me some of your students are older than you.
Yeah, this year I'm teaching some postgraduates and even some teachers. Some of the lecturers at the university want to learn English. And yeah, they, you know, I have my students who are 40, 50, sometimes 25, 24, and you know, I'm 22 obviously. So yeah, it's a very interesting dynamic, we could say, an interesting relationship.
Yeah, that's actually a good phrase, an interesting dynamic. I'm not sure if I can explain that quickly. Listeners might need to look up that word, dynamic. Interesting dynamic, a kind of interaction.
Yeah, like a relationship between.
Yeah, it's like a mixture of atmosphere, situation, relationship.
Yeah, just because normally the teacher is older, of course, and the teacher is the boss, as is in charge, and older people are normally, they carry more wisdom, you know, and they are usually senior, and so when the teacher is younger, it presents a very interesting environment, an interesting classroom.
You told me you in your teacher's class, you have one man who's he's always using his phone and talking to people, or just talking
usually
to people?
Talking.
He's usually talking when he's supposed to be listening to you.
Yeah, or other students when they're talking, which annoys me because the rules were, you know, I don't have many rules. You know, one is don't use your phone to go on WeChat or and you know, number two is listen. You know, listen to people. You know, because when his name is Lemon.
Lemon.
Which is an interesting name. And when he speaks, he wants everyone to be quiet. He's like very insistent that everybody listens to him. But when other people speak, he's not so respectful.
And he's a teacher.
Yeah, that's the surprising.
Who's talking when he should be? Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what his classes are like. I'd like to see.
Okay, so tell us about where you come from. You come from England. What part of England?
So I'm from the southwest of England.
Okay. Can I stop you for a second? I think you pronounce southwest as southwest.
Yeah, southwest.
That's part of your. I think I heard an F instead of TH.
Oh, I suppose. Maybe.
No, I've heard that. It's a characteristic. I don't know of what part of England.
Okay.
So.
It might be my from where I'm from.
No, I'm not criticizing you. I'm explaining to the listeners. That it's that some people from England, and again, I don't know what part, if it's the whole country or what. Well, sometimes you say F instead of TH. So south. I heard southwest.
Yeah, it is incorrect, I guess. Strictly speaking.
Well, it depends what you call correct. It's if everyone says it, it's part of the dialect.
Yeah, I guess. We have a lot of dialects in England.
I bet you do.
Yeah, or in the UK, United Kingdom, which England is part of. So yeah, but the southwest, the southwest. So yeah, that's.
So you're from the southwest, and you told me exactly you were from Cornwall.
Yeah, Cornwall, which is the very. If you look at England, you can see a foot sticking out, and Cornwall is that kind of foot at the bottom, sticking into the Atlantic Ocean. So yeah, that's where I'm from. It's quite nice, lots of sea.
You're never too far away from the sea because it's on three sides
of
your province, county.
We'd say county.
You say county.
Yeah.
Cornwall County.
Yeah, Cornwall County.
Okay.
Or the Cornish County. Yeah. But yeah, that's our county.
Or County Cornwall.
County Cornwall.
No, okay, that's.
I suppose.
I don't know how to say.
I don't know.
You just say Cornwall.
Yeah,
you don't have to say what it is.
Yeah.
Well, that's true. I'm from Arkansas. You could say I'm from Arkansas State, but
the state of...
The state of Arkansas.
Yeah, the county of Cornwall. Don't really say that. I mean, we would
Yeah.
just say, yeah, Cornwall. I'm from Cornwall.
Because
yeah.
people know what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Cornwall. Good. So what are your... I'm sorry, how many people are in your family?
There are 6 people in my family altogether. So obviously mum, dad, me, and then 3 younger brothers.
Whoa! 4 boys.
Yeah, you know, hats off to my mum.
Raising a family of men.
Yeah.
Ooh. Did you hear that, listener? Hats off to my mom. So hats off means
Well,
I show you, I give you respect.
Yeah.
Or
yeah,
congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations. Well done, mum, for staying sane.
Staying sane with 4 boys.
Relatively. Yeah, it wasn't easy.
No. Yeah, I can imagine with 4 of them.
Yeah, there was a lot of fights.
Fights,
Yeah.
broken arms,
Yeah.
falling out of trees.
You know, a few A&E incidences. You know,
A few what?
A&E, accident and emergency. Sorry, it's in England. Yeah.
We don't use that, but on TV we have a show called 24 Hours in the A&E. I get some English channels, English language channels here. And when I first saw the name 24 Hours in the A&E, what the heck does A&E mean? What we would call the ER.
Oh, I see.
Emergency room. And I think A&E means...
Accident and emergency.
Okay.
So, yeah. But
So you had some visits to the A&E, I'm sure, with boys playing, fighting, jumping,
I can remember one
crashing.
particularly, involved a stick.
A stick?
Someone's head. And the rest is, you can probably work out what happened. Yeah.
My brother Eric broke his arm twice.
Wow.
Don't know if both times were falling out of a tree or if the other one was a bike. Might have fallen off his bike.
Well, yeah, I broke my arm falling out of a tree one time. I climbed it and I stood on the top and I shouted to my little brother below, you know, look at me. And I did say, I'm the king. I'm the king.
I'm the king.
Just, you know, the timing was perfect. You know, bang, the
Boom.
branch snaps.
Oh no.
You know, and I'm falling off, fall not too far, but a fair height, and broke my arm.
Broke the arm. Yeah. And listeners, I don't know if you heard it, but he said to his brother. So, and again, I'm not criticizing. I'm just pointing out to the listeners that they go to England, they may hear that, and once again, that's I wouldn't say that's incorrect. I say it's part of the dialect that you speak from where you are, because I'm from the South. We say things differently sometimes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah.
That I would be careful and try not to say that if I were teaching a class. But when I go home, I might relax and use some of the bad grammar, like ain't no way I'll do that. Even though ain't is incorrect grammar, and I wouldn't use it with my students, but we occasionally use ain't to make a negative sentence sound stronger.
I see, yeah.
Okay, end of English lesson, at least for right now. Let's go on to, what are your favorite foods?
My favorite foods, I guess in China, my favorite food is hot pot, hogor, and I guess mi fan, or rice noodles. I do quite like rice noodles for breakfast. I love them every day. And hot pot, you can just add anything to it. So I quite like it.
Right. Some listeners may know hot pot, others may not. Basically, hot pot is a big wok, right? Wok is W-O-K. It's the kind of cooking pot that's used commonly in Chinese cooking, and it's already boiling. Often you go to a hot pot restaurant, right?
Yeah, or at home sometimes.
Okay. Yeah, and the water's boiling, and then you cook lots of different things.
Yeah.
You boil it. Now, I don't actually like hot pot very much. One reason is usually it's very spicy.
Yeah.
And I don't like spicy food, but however you do.
Well, I've had to adapt, I guess, because in my province, or the province I work in, it's very spicy.
Hunan.
Yeah. If you ask anyone about Hunan in China, they'll tell you. Yeah.
Right.
very spicy food.
Yeah, listeners, if you want to have the spiciest food, there's probably 3 places. And the Chinese would argue about which is spicier. And I have listened to arguments like that. But Hunan, Sichuan, and Chongqing.
Yeah.
I believe those 3 places are famous for spicy food. Hunan, Sichuan, and Chongqing.
Yeah. I would say Sichuan has the most spicy.
Okay.
I'd admit that. But
okay. Now, your Hunan people probably would not admit that.
Yeah, I probably have a very unwelcome now. But
and we have a few listeners from those provinces, and maybe you'll tell your students about my podcast, and they can listen to you.
Of course,
It'd be really cool, wouldn't it? Let's see. So, yeah, you like spicy food. You like noodles, hot pot. Good.
I guess back home I would, more traditional like English food. I mean, people say English food is quite bad. We have a reputation for not being able to cook. And the French love to say that.
Oh, I bet they do.
Yeah, the French are very proud of their, cuisine or their food. But yeah, I like to cook at home.
Okay. Yeah, I pronounce that cuisine. You say cuisine?
Yeah, okay. Yeah. I don't know if English, American.
Different. Yeah.
But,
yeah. So you cook at home?
Yeah. I like to, but I usually cook like pasta or lasagna, which is a pasta dish.
Italian food.
Yeah, it's Italian. So it's not even English. I like curry, which is Indian, not English. So yeah, but some traditional foods like cottage pie, shepherd's pie.
I've heard of shepherd's pie. That's made with mashed potatoes, isn't it?
Yeah, mashed potatoes. Shepherd's pie is lamb. So lamb or mutton, minced up and cut up very small. And yeah, you got gravy, carrots. It's quite nice.
Okay. I've never had it. I've just heard the name.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I've never been to England, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yet. Yeah. Okay, good. So, what are your favorite forms of entertainment?
My favorite forms, I guess. Well, I like to read. My phone is a very big source of entertainment. Yeah, I hate to say it, but it's true. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, TV series I like. But I guess seeing my friends, hanging out. I might go to KTV,
Oh, KTV.
if you're lucky. Or maybe unlucky, I should say.
Do you have any favorite sports or hobbies?
I guess I like to be outside doing sports. So, I quite like climbing. I'm not particularly good at climbing, but I like to do it. It's fun. I like surfing. Again, I'm not great, but I like to do it.
You can surf in England?
Yeah, you can surf.
You don't freeze to death in that cold water?
No, believe me, you can do it. Maybe a wetsuit is needed. So a wetsuit is it's made of a special material, and it keeps you warm in the sea. But in Cornwall, where I am, it's down southwest, and it's okay in the summer.
Okay. Surfing.
Not tropical, but it's okay.
Not tropical. Yeah. It was a real shock for you to come to Hunan, China in the summertime or the end of the summer, because it's really hot and humid.
God, yeah.
In that part of the country.
I think I had 4 showers that day. And we're all the same, because I came with a big group of British people, or people from England and Wales and Ireland and Scotland. You could just say British. And
Northern Ireland.
Well, yeah.
Is part of
Northern Ireland, yeah. Of course, the Republic
the UK.
of Ireland.
Okay. Republic of Ireland is a different country.
Yeah, very different. Don't get them confused.
Ooh.
I have an Irish friend from the Republic of Ireland. And when people say, oh, you're part of Britain.
Whoops.
Big whoops. Like, not happy. But yeah. So yeah, we're all very, we are not used to the weather.
So what is your favorite holiday?
My favourite holiday, at the minute, it's Christmas. Because I've missed the last 2 Christmases.
Oh, yeah.
Before I came to China, I actually didn't like Christmas that much. You know, you could say I'm a bit of a humbug.
Yeah, a humbug.
Or a Scrooge.
Or a Scrooge, yeah.
Yes.
Bah humbug.
Bah humbug. I mean...
I am too.
Christmas was okay, and I loved it when my little brothers were very happy about Christmas. That was cool. But for me, it was a big build-up, and then just one day, and I thought it was a little overdone. But now I haven't experienced Christmas for 2 years. I do miss it, you know? And it's unfortunate that if you work in China, you know, you're working.
Yeah. Students ask me, oh, are you going home for Christmas? No, I'll be teaching you.
Yeah. That's the way it is.
So tell us about an interesting place you have been to or an interesting thing you have seen.
There's quite a few, but one that sticks out in my mind is recently I saw, it was for Chinese New Year, and I went to a place called Leye it's in Guangxi province, and I went there, and it's got some beautiful mountains and caves, and I went there and I stayed at a hotel, and the family in the hotel said to me, you know, you can come with us and go for ancestor worship. So we go to their grandmother and grandfather's graves and, you know, make an offering of food. And it was really interesting because in the UK, it's not something we do. So, you know, so to see it firsthand and to be there as they make an offering and they burn some incense and then they set off lots and lots of fireworks, which, you know, was a big change from being very respectful and then fireworks, run away, you know. But yeah, it was very interesting, you know. I think I'll always remember that. I don't know, it was because it was quite intimate. It was something that was done every year, and lots of families were doing it, and I felt that I was an outsider and I'd been given this chance to experience this thing, you know.
Yeah, you had a really good experience in Leye.
Yeah,
I'm not familiar with it. Yeah, he was brave. He was traveling during the Chinese New Year holiday when the whole country closes for a week, or so it seems. You know, I made sure I had enough food and water for several days during that time, because I was told a lot of things would be closed. But you went to a hotel and they shared their food with you?
Yeah.
And then you went with them to the cemetery?
Yeah, it was very, very... I mean, it was a bit risky because a lot of hotels were closed, and I was like, am I going to find anywhere? And I wandered around town for a long time. And eventually I found this hotel, which was still open. Okay.
Yeah, that's kind of in the western part, or kind of the northwestern part of Guangxi.
Yeah, northwest.
Because you had gone to the Datien waterfall, which is in the western part of Guangxi, on the border of Vietnam.
Yeah,
actually.
So I've explored the western area, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so you were so brave to travel during the Chinese New Year, and I think you're going to go on, well, I know you're leaving tonight in about an hour.
Yeah, actually. I'm glad you're watching the clock.
Yeah, it's, well, it doesn't matter what time it is. You've got about an hour or so. You're taking a night train to... Does your train go all the way to Hainan Island? Or, no, you have to stop in Zhanjiang.
Yes. I have to stop, unfortunately, and change trains.
Oh, change train stations too.
Yeah, I have to go to another train station. I have no idea. I'm just hoping it will work.
You're a smart young man. It'll work.
Yeah, it seems to be my whole trip has been kind of, I'll go there and I'll see what happens.
Yeah, that's one way to travel.
Yeah, it can be stressful, but yeah, it can be very interesting.
Yeah, so you've done quite a lot of traveling during this holiday, And you still got more than a week, 2 weeks left, don't you?
Yeah, about a week and a half actually. So yeah, I'm going to spend it in Hainan, and yeah, I just hope the weather is very good.
Yeah, right now it's cool and rainy. Well, no, it's not rainy. It's cool and overcast.
Yeah, it wasn't so good today.
No, Hainan should be better. Should be warmer.
Try some surfing, maybe cycling.
Oh,
yeah. But
good. Okay, Max, is there anything else you want to tell us?
I guess, well, because there's a lot of students, I guess, listening to this.
I think so, yeah.
Students who study English. And I guess something I always tell my students is to not be afraid to make a mistake.
Yeah.
Almost in China, if you're Chinese, you'll know about face.
Right.
You know, take pleasure in losing face. You know, don't be afraid of it, because it's how you make progress, how you become better. Yeah, and you know, I'm also studying Chinese in my spare time, and I always make mistakes. You know, I mix up I and you sometimes. You know, simple, very easy. You know, and Chinese people will laugh. They'll find it funny, but I find it funny. It's okay. They don't think I'm stupid. They understand that I'm learning.
Yeah, and you're trying.
Yeah, and it's the same if you speak English to somebody. Who, you know, they will understand your learning, and they will, you know, be helpful. You know, it's the best way, I think, to practice is just to talk, make mistakes.
Yeah, who cares if you make mistakes? And if your classmates laugh at you, shame on them.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what I say to my students. You laughed at them, shame on you.
Yeah.
Now, he was talking or she was talking, brave enough to talk.
Yeah, and it's just cowardly to just laugh in the corner, you know. Just keep trying, I think, you know.
Keep trying. And I guess before I sign off, or I say my closing sentence, Max, you gave me really good advice about an app for my phone, or I actually use a Kindle Fire for my apps. Or I downloaded 2 of the apps, but there's one that I think is especially useful for the listeners, and that was Memrise.
Yeah.
Because there's all kinds of languages and other things you can use.
Yeah.
You can learn from that.
It's an amazing library of just content, stuff to learn. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, so I recommend that to the listeners for English or other languages, or they're just explore it, and it's spelled Memrise, right? It sounds kind of like the word to memorize, but they spelled it differently, Memrise. It's a free app. I assume it's up for the iPhone. You have it on your Android phone, and I got it from the Amazon store. Might be something the listeners might want to use. Just, you know, when you're learning a language, it's good to have different sources, different things to study.
Yeah, definitely.
Maybe you have one main textbook that you use, but then you have other things like Miss Buswell's podcast to listen to. Yeah, a variety is good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say. That's an idiom for you.
Yeah, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just use one textbook.
Yeah.
Well, Max, I probably should finish this and let you start packing, or let you finish packing. I've enjoyed hosting you. You've stayed for 2 days, and it was your first time to be a couch surfer.
And it was a great experience.
I'm really pleased. It was a good experience for you.
No, it was very enjoyable, and couch surfing is great. I would recommend it, you know.
Okay, good. So I will let you get ready for your train ride, and thank you very much, Max, for giving some time today.
No, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And you have been listening to the 10 Questions ESL podcast.